welcome back to the table. It's Amy with Notes from Past Amy. Connecting. It's been a while since I made a video. Life's been busy, but I'm joining Katie's Fountain Pen Awakening with the end of year pen tag. Oh, I've been needing to do this. Share some favorites, look back at the year, what I bought, what I've been using the most, what things I've not been using. Let's get right into it. The pen I used the most this year has got to be the one on the left on the other side of the camera. There we go. Smacking my arm in frame. I keep it in this little single pen sleeve from Rickshaw. It's my only single pen sleeve. But this is the pen I used the most. One, because it is such a great size for me. This is by Zodiac Pen Co. It's the Capricorn model. And I just asked that he Bart, make the grip section as big as he could, which he did. He is such a nice guy. But I use this the most because of the nib. It's a 3776 from Platinum, an ultra extra fine, and it's so small and so beautiful. This is carbon black ink, also from Platinum, and I use this all the time for fine lines. So here, let's show you this really cool border I learned recently. Didn't I ink you? I know you needed ink, but I thought I had inked you. There we go. And I have to ink this thing all the time because, yeah, it only fits a certain converter, and it's a bit of a pain, but it's just so useful, and it keeps me from going through microns. So, yeah, this is the pen I use the most. I'm not going to get this whole border done. This is such a strange angle. But what you do is you go one dot shy, because I always do this on dot paper. Whoops. Oh no, that's correct. Okay, good. You make a square in the edge, like a 2x2, and then the line goes all the way through it from center to center, and then on the outside stops shy, so you have that one square, and it goes around, and then in the parts that stop shy, you put like a semicircle, and it looks so cool. And I usually use a template for this, but like that. And it makes the nicest little border. Isn't that cool? So I just learned that recently because it's the season for bullet journal setups. So yeah, cool. This is the pen I've used the most, and now you can kind of see why. If I go too fast, it gets too light and like streaky, but if you're doing a nice careful line, this is the pen I use the most. And that's why. Okay, move on. That was 3 minutes for one thing. Number 2, pen not used or rarely used this year. And that's probably going to have to be this one. I don't use a lot of architect style nibs. Even though this pen surprised me in the best way, it does have an architect style nib, and it's left on the desk. Plus it has blue ink in it. And just the combination, even though the blue is such a nice blue, and the nib is one of my favorite, probably actually my top favorite architect style grind, I don't reach for it on the table. I need to just put it in a pen case, one of my new cases, on the couch, and then it would probably get used a lot more, but we don't think of these things till we're doing a tag, right? So for number 2, we forgot to put our end of year pen tag thing here. Oh, Katie's Fountain Pen Awakening is not going to fit here. We will make it fit. There we go. So for one Platinum Ultra Extra Fine with carbon black, and here I am scribbling because I'm in a hurry. For 2, we're going to put Stella. I call her that because the blank is Interstellar by Abigail Markov. Bebe is the pen model. Interstellar. And technically this is not an architect nib. This style is or the grind. What is it? Perspective. Which is a grind done by Gina Salarino of Custom Nib Studio. But yeah, it's just a bad combination. A color I don't use a whole lot in a grind that's not my favorite in an inconvenient location. So yeah, unfortunately, but it's a great pen. Always starts, beautiful nib. It's just, like I said, the combination wasn't good. Most recent pen purchase, I had to figure this one out. So here's my list of pen purchases. I actually bought a lot more nibs than I thought I had. But let's see, my last pen is not here yet because it was purchased the end of December and is coming from Canada. So the last pen that I actually have is the Mont Blanc, which I purchased for its nib. It's over here in a jar because it's not a body I intend on using. So you can see this big crack here. And I don't know what's with this. It's got ink or something in there. But it's a 146, so it's a piston thing. And I don't know if this is broken or what's going on with it, but that comes out. I'm not really worried about the body. Although I must admit, this snowflake cap thing here is much, much cuter than I had thought it would be. Very cute. But yeah, I just bought this for the nib. Came over from Italy, made a really great time. I think it was here within 2 weeks. Oh, my camera's lovely winter. Okay, well, that is my most recent. It doesn't have ink in it because, as I said, the body has issues, but the nib is lovely. So let's grab Stella again. We'll just write this all with Stella. Number 3, and she does look better in caps because of that grind, but that's okay. We're just going to scribble. We're going to scribble, and it's going to be okay. It's going to be okay. Most recent, Mont Blanc. 146 for fine nib. It's two-toned. It's beautiful. Yep. Love me pretty nib. Number 4, the pen that wasn't my vibe, but I do love it now. I really do love it. It's in my case for Sunday. I have a pen case of 5 pens that I use on Sundays. Oh, I know. Hold on a second. Okay. And I love to use this every Sunday because, yeah. Now this came and it had red in it, which I did not expect, and it was kind of a disappointment, but the ebonite cap feels amazing. It's got an acrylic body, and the nib, FPR Ultra Flex, and I upgraded it to the ebonite, what do you call this, feed, which I had to order separately because when I bought the nib, they weren't offering it as a unit. They are now, but they weren't at the time because this was a couple years ago, almost 2 years ago now. So I had to do that myself, but this works so beautifully, and I keep like an orange ink in here. This is not good paper, but oh, come on. Well, it's definitely not showing off. What is wrong with you? Usually we don't have any issues. Okay, well, I'm gonna have to look into that later. Beautiful ink. Usually we don't have any kind of problems. So this has really grown on me. My red pen is kind of how I classify it, but yeah, this Lotus has been really lovely. It doesn't usually do that. I don't know what's wrong with it, but it's like a misbehaved child for videos, evidently. So Lotus, that's the Shikar custom materials and a converter, cartridge converter, FPR. Usually that pen model is a piston fill. Okay, number 5, favorite ink and pen pairing. Oh, this is a recent discovery. I got this ink for Christmas in my stocking. Where is it? It's here on the edge. Here it is. Other box. The boxes look the same, so Yeah, just have to open and see what's in there. This pen I got last Valentine's Day, basically, off eBay. It's a collab from Goulet back in 2019. And again, because of the nib, I put a Nemozine butterfly stub on here. It's supposed to be the 0.6, so it writes more like a 0.8. But it matches because it's silver. I didn't think that would matter, but it totally matters. And it's so pretty. Inside, now don't misbehave. There we go. Again, this paper is who knows what. It was just on the table. But this ink is so pretty. It's like a bluey purple with pink glitter, I think. I've only been using it for like a week, so it's beautiful. I really love it. It flows so nicely out of here, and this body is really cool, so yeah. Really been enjoying that combination. And yes, it matches the sleeve from earlier. They came together, even off eBay. Hadn't been posted. Was in like amazing condition. Came with the sleeve. Was under $100. It was a really good deal. And that is the Herbert Pen Co. collab. Nemozine stub nib. I think it's the 0.6 that writes as a 0.8. And Ventas, in case I forgot that part, Lilac Dawn. So beautiful. Favorite inks of 2024. Okay, I always have to have purples, I always have to have pinks, always have to have like an aquas, teals, blues representation, which is why I stopped doing currently inked, because it felt very repetitive. So favorite inks of 2024, because we're going to do one for each category. I can't possibly pick one overall. One purple, one pink, one from the blue aqua teal is pushing it. So here we go. We're going to do, what are we going to do? We're going to do True Colors. I think we're going to pick Sultry Strawberry for pink, which is a diamine ink. I usually just put a D because I use so many diamine inks. Sultry Strawberry. I love this bright blue that's in Stella, but let's go for, man, I use a lot of Blurple too. Pick, just pick. Purple's either going to have to be Memory Lane or Lilac Satin. I love Foxglove too. Let's do Lilac Satin. I've been using that the most recently. And it's actually been working okay in this fine, what is this? Fine scroll nib is what I call it. It was engraved by Hooligan Georgia. Yes. Very pretty, and when not on camera, works just fine. Another diamine ink. This is from the Shimmertastic line. Come on. I just told them you work well, so behave. Which is a nice, like, true bluer purple, which is what I prefer. And then we're going to have to skip over magenta, green, orange, brown. I have favorites, but I basically only use one ink from each of those categories, like one color. And red, I always use Red Dragon. So aqua blue teal. Oh, man. Again, that's difficult. I don't even know what's inked in most of these. We might have to skip that one. I like the kind of aqua lagoon or havasu, however you pronounce that. Turquoise, Sub-Zero. Yeah. So this type of color, I'm not sure which one is in here. Robinson Crusoe is another ink that's along those same lines. Is that a Waringle ink? Aqua, teal. Oh, this is more of a teal this time. I wonder what's in here. Aqua, teal, blue. I don't know. I haven't exactly decided on which ink goes in which pen, so it's hard for me to tell. I've been not exactly the best pen parent, and I've just been putting in whatever I want when it runs out of ink without cleaning it, because I always put the same color family in each pen. This always has some sort of bright blue to teal color. If it mixes a teeny tiny bit, I write them till they're out of ink. So if it mixes a teeny tiny bit, it's gonna be okay. If it had a shimmer in it before, it's gonna rotate to something without shimmer, unless it's a 1.5, 1.1 stub, flex. Like, unless ink's really flowing through there, I'll rotate between a shimmer and a non-shimmer. And it's been working fine, you know? It's saving me a lot of time, and it's okay. Life's going on. For 7, we have my answer. What is the question for 7? Oh dear. I wrote my answers down earlier when the tablet recorded this in 2 parts a couple days ago. And it didn't put all my questions up. Just the answers. So I'm going to have to look that up. The answer for it is my Leonardo Momento Zero. So I'm not sure what the question was, but I'll show you. I'll show her to you while I look up this question, this prompt. There we go, this prompt. And I think this is the Bella Dinote D something. Always reminds me of Lady and the Tramp. Does it remind you of Lady and the Tramp? It does for me. This is a one of a kind. Oh, it was something to do about limited editions or like your most rare or something like that. And I picked this one because it's, like many of my pens, a one of a kind, but this is from an actual store, one of a kind. Like prototype. It's a prototype. Yeah, that's what I was going for. Because it got made into something similar, but this is the only one quite like this. That's why I picked this. The actual prompt, though, is being pulled up right now, so I'll get you that. But this goes with it. 7. And then in question 8, I think it's like some pen you really love or you've grown to love, or what is number 8? Oh, pen I'm just flat out in love with. Well, and I explained this when I first recorded, because some days I love it and other days, like, we just don't get along. Oh, this was the pen with a great theme and or limited edition. Okay, so since it's a prototype, I picked that because it's definitely a limited edition category. And this, I haven't shown anyone yet. This is the Max 600. I got it from Atlas in their Experience pen sale. This is the first and only pen I've ever purchased from that. I've tried for a couple, and I've been in all of the pen sales. But usually just an observer. My son loves to watch them live with me, and we'll follow along with the chart now that they have that. And like, we go way, way back, all the way to the beginning. But this is the first time I've actually purchased anything from that. And since it's the purple, I decided I would try for it. And what do you know? I got it. It requires a higher angle than I prefer to write with to write, which is why sometimes I love to hate it. But we're going to put it under 8 pen you're in love with. It writes very similarly in line width and style and such to this, and we'll see if it behaves. Oh, it's going to be on its best behavior. Look at that. I'm also trying to go really slow. But see how similar they are? Okay, well, maybe it's the angle that I'm at because I'm standing. I never write with these standing. There, we'll fill them in a little bit. This one goes a little bit broader, but they're very similar, and I guess this is a touch thinner. Of course, they're different inks too, but I don't know what ink that is. But they're both working kind of okay-ish right now. I did get it its own like little sleeve. This is a Parker leather single pen something, I don't know. But Fountain Pen Day sale. We're going to put the Mag 600 I don't remember what that is called for a color. J something like that, or maybe it was AO. I don't know. No, that's not right. It would have been ITE. Either way, it's ITE at the end. I don't know how to spell it. It's some gemstone or something, which I'm not familiar with. There you go. Look it up. Number 9. Favorite pen accessory bought or made? Okay, I don't know if this counts as an accessory, but you want to know what I've been loving lately? I swatched, like, coloring dippered all of my inks, bottles, and samples yesterday. And, well, this weekend, because you won't see this for yesterday to be accurate, but I got a little bit inky. Not a lot, but still. We're going to do a favorite accessory, and it's double C's. We're going to pretend it's double C's. Lava soap. Yeah, I found this on some like older Chris Sains video, I think it was, this recommendation, and this is the only way I could get it. This 2-pack. I'm not sure what I did with the other one, because when I went to find it in the drawer, it was just a single. But yeah, it works really well, and it doesn't feel super dry once you finish washing your hands with it. It takes off the ink. It's great. I'm really enjoying the lava soap. I have lots of favorite pen cases and stuff too, but we're going to stick with that one and move on to the pen I wish existed or a Grail pen. I don't really have either of these, but I have pens I wish I could try. So those are what we're going to write down. Wish I could try. Because right now I just have to buy everything I want to try. So these are like pre-purchase. Wish I could try. Homo sapiens. Visconti, of course. M800 and M1000. Pelikan. Whoops, not 100. 1000. And I would like to try a Mont Blanc. The 149. Because I was actually surprised at the size of the 146 when it came in. I thought it was going to be a little bigger since the 149 is like huge. It's got a too big of a grip. That was really bad English. Moving on. So I would like to try it because maybe it's not quite as big as I think. I don't know. I wish I could try it. And then Fountain Pen Journey Reflections. What is next? I'm going to stay with the limits that I have on pens and nibs and things. I would like to retain pen purchase limits. I'm going to continue to explore nibs and enjoy different nibs. Okay, as I was saying, need to order from Flexible Nib Factory, FNF. I have 2 Sailor nibs that I need to get housings for to use with Jowo type pens. I need a conversion for this Mont Blanc nib. And I would like to, what was the other thing I needed to get? Oh, and I need a tool to get this nib out, which I've ordered. Plus, I have 3 nibs in the drawer under nibs that I would really like to use that are Waterman nibs. 2 are flex nibs, 1 is a manifold nib. I enjoy them all, but I cannot use the bodies they came with anymore. They are just way too small. Here's one of them right here. And they're so tiny. So when you take this off, like, it's just this little tiny stick. And this is one of the thinnest grips that I have. So this is just way too small. I could not do it anymore. So I took the nibs out. They're just little units in my drawer now. I actually did that with one of the Sailors too. Here's a 1911S. I removed the nib because it's just way too small. And like I said, that's one of the smallest grips I have. So maybe that's another reason I don't reach for this one quite as much, because it's a small grip, but we're making it work. We're making it work. So yeah, I need to order from Flexible Nib Factory. I need to figure out how to get those number 2 Waterman nibs so I can use them with JoWo. I actually have one Bock, but we're going to say JoWo compatible pens. I'm also considering grinds on a couple of my like standard nibs. I've got some like basic JoWo fine, extra fine, medium, that kind of thing. So maybe a couple grinds. What am I doing? Couple grinds. Paper's reacting to something. Maybe my hand? I don't know. It's very, very dry this time of year, so I try to stay lotioned, but it's hard to say. I'm not really used to this paper, but I thought it would work well for what we're doing here. The grinds I've been considering are monoline and mini stub. Yes, I think I'm going to send my pens to Kirk Spear the next time I send them out. It's not for sure. I think I'm going to order from Flexible Nib Factory first, because for sure I can get conversion unit things for the Sailors and the Mont Blanc, and that'll give me 3, plus it will be much, much quicker. Not cheaper, probably, I don't know, compatible. But there's one great thing about Flexible Nib Factory for me. It's like the only site where I can put in the things I want, change the shipping, and the shipping cost actually goes down. That never happens to me. There are 2 pen stores that I've purchased from this year that either advertised free shipping, and it was free the first time I ordered, and then when I went back to get something else, it was no longer free, or it just advertised it was free at a certain point, and then when I was ready to pay, it actually wasn't free to Alaska at that point. So that's always such a disappointing discovery. So it's really nice that this defaults to like Texas or somewhere, adds tax and way more shipping than I have to pay. And then when I put in my Alaska stuff, there's no sales tax, because that's just how it is here in the city I live. And the shipping is like a third the price. So that's really, really nice. But that's it. That is the end of your pen tag. I'm going to cut it off here, get some dinner, and call it a night. So hopefully the screen's kind of readable. I know I don't have the best focus, lighting, all the things, but I like to connect when I can. So there we go. End of year pen tag. Thanks to Katie for starting this. I hope there are more. I look forward to seeing them. I'll talk to you all later. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.